Nasso is the name of the Torah portion that we're reading this week from the second parsha in Bamidbar. Verse 1, 2, and 3 of chapter 5 read as follows. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Instruct the Israelites to remove from the camp anyone with an eruption or discharge, and anyone defiled by a corpse. Remove, male and female alike. Put them outside the camp so they do not defile the camp of those in whose midst I dwell." The Mehashiloach takes this to task and asks, how does this relate to us in our time? We don't live in a camp. We don't live in the middle of the Sinai desert anymore. We don't have these discharges that we notice that people have. So what's the relevancy in our own time? And what he says is, when people get angry and they do not discharge their anger. And what I mean by that is they don't get rid of their anger, but they let their anger fester inside of them. And then that anger festering inside of them becomes almost like a toxic resin that affects everybody else around them and affects the community in which they live. This is the camp that this person with sarua, with this discharge, lives, inhabits, and then affects everybody else. They need to be put outside of the camp. People with this anger and this bile that they cannot get rid of, but instead speak lashon hara, say bad things about the people whom they hate, or they want to minimize or diminish in stature, so they say terrible things about them. With anger, these people cause not only a disturbance within the context of the camp of Israel, within the people of a synagogue or a community, but also they cause the Shekhinah, God's presence, to distance itself from us because we're not acting out of a presence of goodness and kindness and generosity, the spirit which God endowed and wants us to generate, but instead the antithesis of all of that. So we listen very keenly to these words and we try to modify our behavior. When we're angry, we let that anger dissipate. We put it aside. We don't let it internalize and become a part of us and then infect other people with that anger. We don't do lashon hara. We don't speak ill of other people and in gossip, diminishing them in stature, trying to elevate ourselves at the same time. And we don't at all costs allow ourselves with this bile to affect the way that we function in our community. God expects more of us, and we are deserving of better, and so are they. I wish you Shabbat Shalom.